everyone. Sorry for the slightly late start. Give me a thumbs up or a heart if you can hear me. We're going to wait for that confirmation of the sound check. I've been actually spending the last hour trying to get my washing machine fixed, so that's never fun. I'd much rather be out here with you guys on the agility field. So give me some thumbs up and hearts and we'll get started. We've got a great sequence out here to work on today. For the summer series, we did decide to do sequences, and just really hot out here and everything. Okay, I got confirmation from the sound. I can hear it myself from Brittany's phone over there. So we'll get started. What we have today is a sequence from the USDA regional that just happened this past weekend. This is from biathlon jumpers. And so we took just one little sequence from that. It's a pretty interesting sequence because it has two back-to-back choices. And whenever you have back-to-back choices like that, you end up with a lot of different handling options. So we're going to start here with the tunnel. And the beginning of the sequence, it was actually the weave pulls. So as long as you had pretty decent weave pulls, you could get to whatever you wanted to do after the weave pulls. We've put a tunnel here just to make it a little bit easier to start the sequence, and because at the end of this live broadcast we have a download for you that has a course map for this little small space exercise, and then it has 3 different renumberings, so something completely different that you can run on this same setup. So you can just set it up once and have a couple of things to practice. And a tunnel gave us, more opportunity to try to give you some unique sequences. So the sequence from the regional was they came off of this weave pulls, and you have this jump going this way, this jump going this way, this jump, and this was actually the broad, which can make a difference for some people in terms of angle of approach for the dog. You have to be a little bit more careful with the broad jump, especially for a large dog. They can slice, across and not actually take it the way they're supposed to. So of course we have this back-to-back choice, because coming here we can wrap this jump this way on our way to this jump, or we could wrap our jump this way on our way to that jump. And then once we get to this jump, again we have a choice. We can have the dog wrap this way, heading for that jump, or we can have our dog wrap this way, heading for that jump. And we can see that the angles are going to make a difference. So on this jump, when we go this way, we're setting our dogs up for this kind of nice smooth line to this jump, to that jump. And when we wrap this way, we set them up on a much more, this way, turn that way sort of line. But of course we have a shorter distance here, longer distance there. So, so we love to set up these choices to time them, but also because one setup gives you so much handling practice. You have to handle your dog doing wraps, doing slices. Sometimes you blind, sometimes you don't. So these choices are they're just so great to set up. And the more you set up, the more you're going to internalize the fastest path. So we're going to call this, just so that we can all use the same words, as the dog's coming this way, we're going to call this the inside loop. We're going to call that the outside loop. And then as they come here, we call this the inside versus the outside. So does anybody have any thoughts on the fastest path? So we have inside, 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 outside, outside, inside, and outside, outside. So just think about it for just a moment, and then at the end we'll show you the times that we had for myself and Brittany. And we always like to look at both a large dog and a small dog, because sometimes these choices can kind of divide along height lines depending on the dog. So we have 2 data points, and we did both of our dogs ran the same one the fastest way. Then there was a little bit of variation and kind of some of the middle ones. So we're going to go ahead, let's see. The other thing that we have is that our Bad Dog Agility sponsored athlete Jennifer Crank was at this regional, and in fact she won this round with Border Collie Pink. So we have a video that we'll show you real quick of her running this sequence. Go ahead.
Okay.
I put it in slow motion for you guys. All right, so it's just, I like to show video of actual competitions because you don't have the opportunity to practice. You got to see Jennifer Crank run it, you know, on the fly, best of her ability with only a walkthrough, and I love seeing that. But now we're going to show you some live demos. Everybody loves live demos, so Brittany, you can get Trek. And we're going to start with the inside. And Brittany is going to be our demo dog. Actually, Trek is going to be our demo dog. Brittany is going to be our demo handler. And then what we're going to have, let me get out of the way, is after she runs it live, we'll show you a slow motion of the same thing that, that she ran earlier today, so that we could show you both the live and the slow motion. Beautiful. So you can see Brittany really working to get those nice tight inside wraps and to give her dog enough information that the dog does wrap and doesn't think of this as a rear cross, which can happen with these slices. So I'm going to go ahead and show you this in slow motion. You're going to see Trek in slow motion, and then you're going to see my 20-inch dog Venture do the same thing in real time and in slow motion. So here we go. All right, so that was the inside. So the next one that we're going to demo is going to be the same inside here, but now we want to take the dog to the outside here. And if you remember, this is the path that Jennifer Crank chose with her Border Collie Pink. And a couple of handling things just to watch for when you're doing this is that when you have this wrap, you can choose to blind it or you can go with the dog, but as the dog comes around here, it's especially for a larger dog, it's very ambiguous. Their line is ambiguous on whether they should super slice this way or whether they might be considering a backside. So we like to be very careful in those spots to give our dogs nice, clear information about if they're coming to this side or that side. So we'll see Brittany and Trek again. Inside, outside. Beautiful. So you can see that what Brittany did to make sure her dog knew to slice this jump was after she did the wrap, she treated this like a threadle. So as the dog's coming, they could be going to the backside, in which case we would give them a backside word and maybe a step towards the backside. But just to take away any ambiguity, she gave a little threadle cue and then put it right into a front cross to go to this jump here and got a lovely turn. So now let me show you in slow motion. And actually, since that is the same thing that Jen did, I'm going to show you that one more time, although it is a slightly different camera angle.
Okay.
So here we see into the weeds. Got the inside wrap. And you can see she also uses that flutter arm to make sure the dog knows which side of the jump to go to. All right, so that was our inside. Next, we're going to do outside. So in this case, we get our dog into the tunnel, and we want our dog to slice this jump. We want him to slice this jump, but we want a nice tight turnaround here so that we can be prepared for the inside wrap here. And I believe, did you blind Yako this? I think so. I definitely did. So I believe in this case, we're going to go ahead and do a Yako turn here in blind, but you don't have to. You could do a decel and then just pull around the wing. Either way, to get that nice tight turn, and then come up here and get ready for our wrap. And somebody asked, is it all, when we're doing the wraps, is it all hand motions or do we have a verbal? When I do a wrap, I use my dog's name. I say vin, vin, vin. Esteban uses his dog's name. He says gitch, 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 or mirror, mirror, mirror. Okay, and Brittany says dig, dig, dig. So she uses the command dig. We use a version of the dog's name, but we're pretty much using that, that little shortened sound of their name for wrap. So it becomes our wrap cue. All right, Brittany? Very nice. So now let's go to our slow-mo. You can see those super tight wraps around the wing on the slice. It's exactly what we want. All right, so now the final variation that we're going to do is going to be outside. So now we want to take our dog slicing this jump. So I think most handlers are going to opt for 2 front crosses there. So you're just going to pick your dog up with the cross, pick your dog up with the cross, and take them to this jump. And one thing that we noticed, and I noticed it even when I was watching Jen's video, is when we're looking at this choice, especially wrapping this feels a little crunchy because the dog has to turn so tight and now they're headed basically in the wrong direction for what comes next, right? They're going this way, and after this jump, they have to go that way. It's almost exactly opposite. But when you bring them around this wing with a front cross, what ends up happening is they end up coming a little bit behind you and rounding their path a little bit. In general, this is not good for front crosses. You want to be out of your dog's way for front crosses. But in this case, the little bit of them coming around your body that you naturally get just because of where the jumps are, you get a little bit of an advantage to what comes next. So it's one of the cases where a slight curve around your body does not lose you anything. It might even gain you something. In fact, some people might even choose to really exaggerate that into a bigger V set so that the dog really takes this jump heading in that direction. All right, so now we have Brittany doing outside with Trek. Very nice. And now the slow motion. All right, so those are the 4 variations that we have. I think, again, these are great setups for you to try at home. I'm just about to give you the course maps, but first, for all you curious people, let's go ahead and look at the times. So here we have the times for Venture and Trek. And you can see that for both dogs, the inside-outside, which, by the way, is the same way that Jennifer Crank chose as well, was the fastest time. But you can also see how little the difference is, especially for Venture. You know, if I run these 4 combinations 10 times, I might not always get that one as the faster. They're that close. So sometimes these choices, we can really agonize over them, and they end up being virtually identical. But that's why we love to set them all up, run them, time them, and try to, you know, through exposure to different choices, really be able to internalize the factors that matter the most to our dog and what plays to their strengths the best. You can see with Brittany, it's a little bit more, but you're still talking less than, you know, 1/10 of a second between the first and the second one.
Between all of them.
Yeah, between all of them. So they're very close, but again, it's not always about just picking the fastest. Being able to set this up and get all of that practice in a 40 by 60 space with just 4 jumps in a tunnel, that's pretty great. So now let me give you the download. So if you go to, let me move that Bad Dog Agility. If you go to baddogagility.com/summer4, or if you just type summer4 in the comments right now, we have a PDF download that has this sequence that we just ran, and then 3 nested courses that you can try. And actually, I probably should have asked if there are any questions before I unleashed everybody to start typing summer4. But if there are any questions, if there's anything you'd like me to, any options or handling options for this that you have questions about, just type them in the comments, and I'm taking a look right now. All right, I see thumbs up, and I see summer4s all over the place. So if you do have any questions, just put them there. We'll give it just another 30 seconds or so for comments, and then this video will be instantly available on Facebook. And then if you don't know, we also upload these to YouTube, and the version we upload to YouTube is always higher resolution than the stream from Facebook. Just, you know, Nancy, make sure you take out the space between summer and 4. And Sharon, no space between summer and 4. It has to be one word for the magic to happen. All right, everybody. Thank you so much. We're glad to be back. We took a couple of months off for just the heat of the summer and you know, little vacation time, little R&R, but we are back and planning on doing this live once a month. So we'll see you sometime in September, and you'll see it on Facebook, and if you're on our mailing list, you'll get a notice that way as well. Happy training.